Hi students, welcome back to this video. Let us get started our new session with this positive card. Stay positive. The things you are waiting and hoping for tend to arrive at the most unexpected times. Okay, students, we are going to study about the processes of recombinant DNA technology in this session. Processes of recombinant DNA technology. It includes isolation of the genetic material. Second one, cutting of DNA at a specific location. Amplification of gene of interest using PCR. Here, PCR means polymerase chain reaction. Insertion of recombinant DNA into host cell. Obtaining. Fifth one is obtaining the foreign gene product, and the last one is downstream processing. So we can see uh, isolation of the genetic material. Then how do we isolate the genetic material? That desired DNA, how do we isolate? We know that we are going to isolate a DNA from a bacteria, plant, or animal tissue, so that we have to treat this with the different enzymes. Treat bacterial cells or plant or animal cell tissue with enzymes like lysozyme, cellulase, chitinase, etc. That means if we are isolating the DNA from a bacteria, so that we have to use the enzyme lysozyme. If we are isolating a DNA from a plant, there we have to use the enzyme cellulase. Cellulase enzyme act upon cellulose because the plant cell wall is made up of cellulose. If we use chitinase enzyme in order to disintegrate the chitin, fungal cell body is made up of chitin. So here we are using different enzymes in order to isolate the DNA. Then second step is the cell is broken, releasing DNA and other macromolecules. That means it includes RNA, proteins, polysaccharides, and lipids. So how do we remove all these? RNA is removed by treating with a ribonuclease enzyme. Proteins are removed by treating with protease. Other molecules are removed by appropriate treatments. That means we have to remove these substances by using appropriate treatments. Okay. Then, when chilled ethanol is added to this, purified DNA precipitates out as fine threads. They are separated. DNA can be removed by spooling. That technique is known as spooling. Then second step, cutting of DNA at specific locations. So purified DNA is incubated with the restriction enzyme. As a result, DNA digests. We have studied when we studied about the tools of recombinant DNA technology. Restriction endonuclease enzyme is used to cut at specific places. So DNA fragments are separated by technique called gel electrophoresis. The technique is known as gel electrophoresis. DNA fragments are separated by using gel electrophoresis. So this is that technique, gel electrophoresis, showing migration of undigested and digested set of DNA fragments. Okay. Then A gel electrophoresis consists of agarose gel. So, what is the function of this agarose gel? Agarose gel has the sieving effect. DNA is negatively charged, so it moves towards the anode. DNA fragments are separated according to their size through sieving effect of the agarose gel. So from where this agarose gel is extracted, it is a polymer that is from the seaweeds. This we have studied. Smaller sized fragments move farther. The process is repeated with the vector DNA also. DNA fragments can be seen as bright orange colored bands when they are stained with ethidium bromide because they are colorless. In order to separate, we have to use a stain. The name of the stain is ethidium bromide. DNA fragments can be seen as bright orange colored bands when they are stained with ethidium bromide and exposed to UV radiation. DNA bands are cut out from agarose gel. This is called elution. So, what is elution? Elution is the process by which DNA fragments are cut out from the agarose gel. From your examination point of view, it is a 1 mark question. Then, the cutout gene of interest from source DNA and cut vector are mixed and ligase is added. It creates recombinant DNA. That means by using the gel electrophoresis, agarose gel electrophoresis, the DNA fragments are separated. The next process is the formation of the recombinant DNA. So by seeing this diagram, you'll be able to understand this is the vector DNA. This is the vector DNA. By using restriction endonuclease enzyme, a cut is made here. And this is the gene of interest that we have separated by using the gel electrophoresis. And the next step is the formation of the recombinant DNA by using another enzyme named ligase that is added so that recombinant DNA is produced. Okay. Then third one is the amplification of gene of interest using PCR. Amplification means multiplication. How do we multiply the gene of interest? Gene of interest means desired DNA, target DNA are known as gene of interest. So how do we multiply? In order to multiply this, there is a technique, another technique that is known as PCR. PCR means polymerase chain reaction. So what is polymerase chain reaction? It is the synthesis of multiple copies of the gene of interest in vitro using two sets of primers and the enzyme DNA polymerase. So here we have to study what is in vitro, what do you mean by primers, and what is this DNA polymerase. In vitro means inside the lab. Then primers means it is necessary uh, to amplify the gene of interest by using polymerase chain reaction. Then DNA polymerase is an enzyme that is also necessary to do the process polymerase chain reaction. Primers are actually artificially synthesized oligonucleotides. They are complementary to the region of DNA. Okay, it is given here. Primers are small chemically synthesized oligonucleotides that are complementary to the regions of DNA. So when we study in detail about the polymerase chain reaction, you will be able to understand very clearly. The PCR technique includes mainly three steps. They are: first one is denaturation, second one is annealing, and the third one extension. Here we can see this process, denaturation. Here you can see this is the annealing process, and here extension. So what do you mean by denaturation? It is the heating of target DNA. See, this is the gene of interest at high temperature, that means 94 degrees centigrade, to separate the strands. So denaturation process, by using this process we can separate these two strands of the DNA. Here you can see the two strands. One is at 5 dash 3 dash direction, and the second strand is 3 dash 5 dash direction. So by using the denaturation method, we can separate these two strands. In order to make that, we have to heat the target DNA at high temperature, that means at 94 degree centigrade. Then here each strand, that means these two separated strands, act as a template for DNA synthesis. Each strands act as a template for DNA synthesis. Then second one, annealing. It is the joining of the two primers. We can see this is the joining of primer. One primer is joined in one strand of the DNA, and the other primer is added to the second strand of the DNA. So where they are added? They are added at the 3 dash direction. Can you see this? So this is the 3 dash direction of this DNA strand, and this is the 3 dash direction of this DNA strand. So annealing means is the joining of the two primers at the 3 dash end of the DNA template. There is also a temperature is necessary, that is 52 degree centigrade temperature. Okay, that is known as annealing. And the third one we can see here, that is known as extension. Okay, so it is the addition of nucleotides to the primer using a thermostable DNA polymerase enzyme called Taq polymerase. So extension is the addition of the nucleotide to the primer using a thermostable DNA polymerase enzyme. Example of that enzyme is Taq polymerase enzyme. We have studied the naming is based on the bacteria from where it is isolated. Taq, this polymerase enzyme is isolated from the bacterium Thermus aquaticus. T stands for thermus, AQ stands for aquaticus, which remains active in high temperature during the denaturation of double-stranded DNA. Then DNA segment is amplified up to 1 billion copies. The amplified fragment can be used to ligate with a vector for further cloning. So this is the PCR processes. And PCR components we can see here. These are the nucleotides. This is the primer. This is DNA sample, Taq polymerase enzyme, PCR tube. The next step is insertion of recombinant DNA into host cell or organism. Fourth step, using any method, the ligated DNA is introduced into recipient cells. They take up DNA from its surroundings. If a recombinant DNA bearing ampicillin resistant gene is transferred into E. coli cells, the host cell become ampicillin resistant cell. If the transformed cells are spread on agar plates containing ampicillin, only transformants will grow. Untransformed recipient cells will die. Then fifth step, obtaining the foreign gene product. The ultimate aim of recombinant DNA technology is to produce a desirable protein. So, what do you mean by recombinant protein? If a protein encoding foreign gene is expressed in a heterologous host, it is called a recombinant protein. Cells with foreign genes can be grown in laboratory. The cultures are used to extract desired protein and purify it by using separation techniques. How do we multiply this? It can be multiplied in a continuous culture system. Then how do we get the foreign gene product? In order to get that, bioreactors are used. So what are bioreactors? These are the vessels in which raw materials are biologically converted into specific products, enzymes, etc. using microbial, plant, or human cells. Actually, the bioreactors are used to produce large quantities of products that they can be processed 100 to 1000 liters of culture. This is bioreactor. What all things are present in this bioreactor? It provides optimal growth conditions such as temperature, pH, substrate, salt, vitamin, oxygen, etc. in order to get desired product. So this picture is very important from your examination point of view. The diagram will be given and you have to label the parts. So listen carefully what are the parts. It is given in the NCERT textbook. Most commonly used bioreactors are of two types. Stirred tank reactor and the second one is sparged stirred tank bioreactor. One is simple and the other one is sparged. It is usually cylindrical or with a curved base. Here we can see that to facilitate the mixing of the reactor contents. The sterile facilitates even mixing and oxygen availability. Alternatively, air can be bubbled through the reactor. What are the parts of bioreactor? This is very important. It consists of an agitator system, an oxygen delivery system, a foam control system, a temperature control system, pH control system, sampling ports, that is for periodic withdrawal of the culture. Then the last step of the processes of recombinant DNA technology, that is downstream processing. So, what do you mean by downstream processing? It is a series of processes such as separation and purification of products after the biosynthetic stage. It includes separation and purification of the desirable protein. The product is formulated with suitable preservatives. Such a formulation undergoes clinical trials and strict control. Okay, students, we have studied about the processes of recombinant DNA technology in this session. Thank you for watching this.